Broadcasting from Watts Creative Studios and live on Grove Street FM, you're listening to Talk Local to Me, brought to you by the Central Virginia Business Coalition.
Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome back to Talk Local to Me. I'm Heather Alto with the Central Virginia Business Coalition. Sorry, I'm laughing at Autumn. She's was in the other room right now, and she's trying to shut the door all quiet so she doesn't interrupt everyone as she comes in to the show today. And now she's having issues with her headphones, Woody. I don't know what's happening over here. I think she's just a mess.
User
error.
I got it. I'm good.
You good? Okay. So anyway, Autumn and I are back today together again. We're going to talk about center. We're actually today's we're kind of talking all things events today because we're going to be talking more about Bedford Centerfest, which is coming up on Saturday, and then I have guests today that are going to be coming on talking about some events that they have coming up in the next week and a half. And but right now joining me, I have Josh with the Turman Group, Turman Products.
Yeah. So the Turman Group,
Okay.
Forest Products. So, we have 12 different locations in Virginia, but the one here in Bedford is Turman Forest Products.
Turman Forest Products, okay.
A lot of people would know of us as Hilltop Lumber Company. We purchased those guys about 4 years ago.
Oh, okay. I didn't know that.
Yep.
Awesome. See, I learn things every time I'm on the show.
Oh, yeah.
I feel like I'm on the show. Like I just come on randomly. But so we have Josh today because Turman Forest Products is the title sponsor of our Bedford Centerfest Festival this year. And I'm really grateful. Honestly, Bedford Centerfest, we've had like different title sponsors in the past, but none that came out so excited as you guys did last year with your booth that you had. And it was wonderful having so much energy like next to us at our table. Y'all kept us entertained all day long.
Well, we had a good crew, and we still have a good crew, but, just like we were interviewed not too long ago, we like to do things local.
Mm-hmm.
And we purchased this sawmill 4 years ago, a little over 4 years ago, actually. And, there's still people today that doesn't know there's a sawmill in Bedford.
Right.
They've been there since 1982. So it was a good addition to the Turman Group because we have dry kilns, we have sawmills, we have a hardwood flooring plant, we have pellet operations, and we have actually 2 dry kiln facilities, one in Arrington, Virginia, and one in Salem, Virginia. So this sawmill made sense because most of all the product will go to one of the 2 sawmills, and logistically, it works out. So it's a good fit, and it's a good timber resource. There's a lot of loggers in the area that we do business with, and
what are you?
And we're always excited, especially to get out of the office and get away from the sawmill. So if we can get to a festival, it's always fun.
Well, and y'all, like I said, y'all had the snow cones last year. Y'all doing that again this year?
Yeah, we're doing that again this year.
Great.
I have friends that formerly owned Fisher's Restaurant, and so they're letting me borrow their snow cone stuff. So
okay,
that works out good.
The snow cones, and are y'all doing balloons?
Balloons, yeah, we still have balloons left, and price of helium has come down. So
that's good.
Yeah, went ahead.
Glad something's come down.
Yeah, last year was crazy.
Everywhere you look, there were balloons. There were
balloons everywhere.
Turman product balloons all over the place.
Right. That's actually was an idea of one of my colleagues that worked a lot in politics, and when I was talking to him about it, I was like, man, what should I do? I'm trying to get name recognition.
Mm-hmm.
Well, actually, he asked me, he's like, what are you trying to accomplish? And I'm like, name recognition. I want landowners to call me, say, hey, I want to sell some timber. Or I want loggers to call me and say, hey, are you buying logs? Or I want people to say, man, I'm looking for a job. Or vendors, local vendors in the area. Just like GPS was sending me to a shop up the road here that I do business with. I want to do business local, hire local, buy local, everything that I can do. But that was my colleague's idea. He's like, hey, man, I worked at a political, event one time, and we had balloons made with the candidate that was running, and we set up a booth in front of the opponent and said everybody had those balloons walking around. So it's for the kids and for name recognition. I want people to think about Turman Forest Products. Hey, I want to buy some lumber, I want to sell some timber, or I'm looking for a job, or what have you.
Well, I know that, in my opinion, it worked because last year that's all I saw was balloons, and then your staff was really great because your guys were even helping us at our booth sometimes when we needed help and running back and forth. And
we try to throw plenty of labor at it, make it easy on everybody.
Yeah.
So you've mentioned a little bit about what Turman does. But I
Yep.
mean, so you have a lumber, so it's all different though. I didn't realize there were different things in different areas.
Yeah.
So
I guess the term we use is vertically integrated. But at the end of the day, our core business is sawmills.
mhm.
So this sawmill here in Bedford is the 5th sawmill that we own. All the other sawmills that we own, we've built from the ground up. This is the only sawmill that we purchased from another company. But it works out good because even before we owned it, we purchased lumber at our dry kiln facilities because we have more drying capacity at our dry kiln facilities than sawmills than we can produce.
Okay.
So, but at the end of the day, the core business is sawmills, hardwood sawmills.
Okay.
We only do hardwood. And so we have hardwood sawmills. And then what complements that is dry kiln facilities. So we take the lumber to the dry kilns, we dry the lumber, and then we sell it either export or domestic.
Mm-hmm.
And then the next step, I guess, would be the flooring plant. So that'd be a value added, facility. So we take lumber from our sawmills to the dry kilns to the flooring plant. So, the name of that company is Turman Hardwood Flooring. A homeowner can go direct to the flooring plant and buy, flooring for an addition they have in their house. Or, Lowe's or Home Depot or in the box stores can call and say, hey, I want 100 tractor trailer loads of hardwood flooring. We'll produce whatever. You can get it unfinished and pre-finished.
I might have to. We've been talking about getting hardwood flooring in our home for a while now.
Yeah.
And we haven't, we've been looking at the ones at Lowe's, like, the ones you just put down.
Oh yeah. The laminates. And
yeah.
Stuff. Yeah.
But we have this god awful ugly carpet in our house. It's purple, for gracious sakes. I'm not kidding. Is it not purple?
Yeah. You definitely need some hardwood.
It is very ugly.
Thank you. she doesn't lie. It's ugly. And I've been wanting hardwood flooring forever. So I have to come.
Well, you have a source now.
That's cool. Yeah, I like that. Now y'all also go though and cut lumber.
Or
correct?
Cut timber.
Timber. Sorry.
Yeah, that goes back to the core operation.
I need to learn my terms.
Yeah, so
lumber is not lumber until after it's cut, correct?
Correct.
There we go.
Yeah, it would be called timber.
Okay.
So you have standing timber, and then once it's cut, it's going to be called logs. Then once it goes to the sawmill, then you can start calling it lumber.
Okay.
It's going to be green lumber, and then the green means wet. It's unprocessed. It's not dry yet.
Okay.
So then it's going to go to a dry kiln facility, and dried. It actually could be air dried or kiln dried. So we offer both. And then it's either air dried or kiln dried lumber. And then it's going to be sold out to the cabinet manufacturers, the flooring manufacturers, molding, upholstery furniture. There's a couple local furniture companies we do business with, Texture in Roanoke. They buy lumber off of us. Row Furniture in Salem, they buy lumber off of us. So if you own a piece of furniture from one of those two companies, most likely you have some of our lumber, some Turman lumber.
Okay.
And we go by, the name Turman Group because it's a group of companies, but each entity has its own name.
Gotcha.
Just like I was explaining with Turman Forest Products and Turman Hardwood Flooring and Burke's Fork Log Homes. We do white pine log homes out of Hillsville, Virginia too.
Oh, okay.
And then pellets. So we do hardwood heating pellets, and I'm a distributor of those pellets here in Bedford. So if you have a pellet stove and you burn pellets, you can come.
Are those like the brick looking?
No, that's a
seen
briquette. This is that's like a 1/4 inch in diameter, about a 1/2 inch long.
Oh, okay.
The same pellets that people use like in their Traeger pellet grills.
Gotcha. Okay.
And then we have pallets. We do pallet stock and pallets. So, we have companies that we do business with that will purchase, either the pallet stock to build pallets or the actual pallet itself.
Okay.
That's another value added, operation that we have. But at the end of the day, we're a sawmill that has a lot of value added companies that support the sawmill. But, even Mike Turman, the main owner of the Turman Group, he will tell you at the end of the day, we are a sawmill company. And we have logging operations and every other value added, operation. And today we're, we're around 700 employees, a little over 700 employees company wide.
Wow, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Now, when you're out cutting timber, do you yell timber? I've always wanted to know that.
Yeah.
Does Lee do that? I want to know if that's what Lee does.
Oh yeah. Well, so Lee is a forester.
Lee?
Yeah. Lee McCoy didn't want to come today. He's like, he's had enough.
He had enough of us when we did our LHOV segment. He was like, I'm done.
He's like, Heather Alto has got enough out of me. and he said I'll be seeing enough of her and everybody else at Centerfest.
Yeah.
And plus, I left him at the sawmill to run things while I'm
Gotcha. No, I just thought that was funny. But but you are, if somebody is interested in having some of their land, their timber cut,
Oh yeah,
they can contact
absolutely.
Lee or you,
Or
and
me.
y'all will
Yeah.
come out and assess the
Oh, yeah.
situation.
Oh
Right?
yeah, and it's called a timber cruise. So I mean, it's mathematical equations and spreadsheets and values and board footages. So we'll cruise the timber. That's the proper name for that.
Mm-hmm.
Cruise the timber, prepare an offer, and then we'll go ahead and either purchase it outright up
Mhm.
front and cut it ourselves, or contract with a contract logger to cut it. Or we could cut it on the shares. We rather just go ahead and purchase it up front. That way
Right.
it's purchased, it's done, it's less paperwork for us.
Yeah.
We don't have to track it as much. The landowner has their money. We usually get a 1, 2, or 3 year contract on the timber.
Mm-hmm.
It gives us time to cut it, because certain species you wouldn't cut certain times of the year.
So there's a lot that goes into it. It's not like just cutting down trees.
I mean, yeah, exactly. I mean, it's and since we've been at it for so long, we're still learning. We're always making mistakes and and learning. But that's what you do in business. And
that's interesting, because me and my husband have been looking at buying land, and we're like, well, how, there's so much land, but it has so much, I guess timber on it.
Yeah.
So it's like, well, I guess we can figure out how to get rid of it. But
Oh yeah.
I don't know how that really works.
Well, that's something else that we do, as well, is like if you and your husband's looking for a parcel or a tract of land, we can come in beforehand, and if you want to sell the timber,
Yeah.
we would cruise it, we would prepare your offer, and you could take that to close and say, hey, I'm selling this timber.
Okay, that's interesting.
But a lot of times, we get in trouble doing that, because then people will use us to assess the timber, but then really not sell us the timber. So we want to make sure that it's beneficial for all parties involved.
Right. Well,
No.
I think especially if you knew you were going to build on the land.
Yeah, like if I did it, I'd take it.
That's
Hey,
right.
I don't need it.
Take the trees.
That's right.
I don't need it.
Yeah. Yeah, 'cause
Now.
Yeah, I just want to follow up with that. The Appalachian
Yeah.
forest grows at such a percentage every year, and it's
Mhm.
the most sustainable forest in the world. And the data's out there for people that are naysayers and saying we're cutting down all the timber.
Mhm.
I mean, hardwood timber naturally grows back, and it
Yeah.
grows. And if you think about, like, back in the day, everybody farmed.
Mhm.
Nobody farms anymore. I mean, you still have some farms, but not at such a rate that people
That
used
way,
to.
yeah.
So I
Right.
mean, the forest is growing at such an astronomical rate. I mean, like I said, it's sustainable, and it's healthy for the forest to cut it down
Mm-hmm.
at a certain maturity.
Yeah.
Mhm.
But for development, you want to build a house. You want a house to live in.
Mm-hmm.
You don't want to buy somebody else's house. You want to build your own house.
Mhm.
Yeah.
So, and it's
Yeah, I
nothing
think you
wrong.
see more people doing that now.
That's right.
Because it's
Honestly, I
easier to
think
build than to go renovate a home
Yeah.
that
it can
is
actually
currently
be
there.
cheaper, I think, to do that.
Well,
than
it just
would
all
be.
depends what you want.
Mhm.
Well, then it's your house. Like, you can make it to how you want it to look. Like,
Oh yeah.
Mm-hmm.
it's custom made. Now, are you currently hiring? Are y'all always looking for
Yeah,
work? How does that work?
We're always hiring.
Yeah.
At a sawmill, there's a lot of jobs that people don't want to do. Packing lumber. People don't want to pack lumber. Just like in the tree industry, people don't want to trim trees or pick pumpkins.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, you have a lot of turnover in positions like that.
Mm-hmm.
But you have a lot of opportunity for growth and to move up in the company.
Mm-hmm.
But we have great benefits package, insurance, 401k, attendance bonuses, vacation, personal time, a starting pay. I mean, starting pay is $15 an hour.
Okay.
And all you have to do is breathe and walk in. We'll pay you $15.
There you go, Woody. Just
Yeah.
breathe. Get in there. Maybe Bigfoot's living among the timber.
I have a hard time
Okay.
doing that sometimes. So,
Yeah.
Yeah.
There you go.
So, well, no, I think, and I was talking to some of your employees last year, and they seemed to love it. I mean, just the ones
yeah.
that I was talking to there, definitely, because they were trying to encourage me to get my son to come out there and work.
Oh yeah. I mean,
And,
it's great entry level.
Yeah.
Packing lumber. I mean, I have a 7-year-old son. He's not ready to pack lumber. He has packed some lumber,
Mhm.
but everybody should have a good entry level job that you just sweat and work your butt off.
Mm-hmm.
Because then you're going to appreciate when you do get a good job
Yeah.
in a company car and whatever other type of
Right.
field, you'll appreciate it because you've done some hard work.
And you've earned
Mhm.
it.
That's right.
Yeah.
Well, and we push a lot with people going towards trade,
Oh yeah.
and
That's right.
getting out there. And I know a lot of people who started kind of lower level in like a trade field that now have either branched off and opened their own business, or they've gotten
Mm-hmm.
higher up in the company, and they're making more than someone who went and got a 4-year degree and is now $100,000 in debt
Oh yeah,
for student loans.
to each their own. Everybody needs to kind of do what they want to do in life and follow their passion. But a lot of the degrees that are being pushed or people are getting are useless. Especially a rural town. I mean, if you're going to go out, and get a degree and whatever, I can't think of anything right now, but something that you could use in New York City, a degree you could use there, an art degree or what have you. You're not going to use in downtown Bedford,
right?
Or you're not going to use in Floyd County. I mean, that's where I'm from. I just all these rural towns, you're not going to use these degrees. You're going to have to move to a big city.
Right.
But I mean, people can make a great living. Plumbers can make a great living.
Yeah.
People working at the sawmill can make a great living. All these trades, people building houses. I mean, everybody that's any, a bit affiliated with any type of business know how hard it's been for the last 2 years to get anything done.
Yeah.
You couldn't get a plumber to come work at a toilet.
Absolutely.
You couldn't get a builder to come do anything because they had such a backlog.
Yep.
And all those guys, are making good money.
And it's still, I mean, they're still back. They're starting to kind of catch up a little bit, but it's still, to get a good quality, company to come out and work with you, they're still seeing backlog. And I think that's another thing. Like I noticed when COVID hit and stuff shut down, they didn't construction, they were booming.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
That was completely that did not stop.
Yeah.
Because you still have to have all that. You have your HVAC has to work. Your plumbing has to work. You have to have, lumber.
We sawed, and we kept everything open during the whole COVID. We kept everybody working, But then, now we're faced with supply chain issues, getting containers for export. So we're trying to sell more domestically. Just this morning I was talking to Southern States, in Winchester and then Southern States local here about fence boards. I mean, we produce fence boards. I mean, just do local business because right now China's not buying lumber. Vietnam, the operations are shut down in Vietnam right now. And that's the 2 biggest markets in the world for hardwood lumber.
Yeah.
So, unfortunately, we're having to warehouse a lot of lumber right now. So we're looking to expand even in this downturn, and we can't sell as much lumber as we want to. We're just warehousing it because we know eventually it will turn, and then we'll be able to sell all the lumber we produce.
Right.
And it's a lot of lumber. 90 million board feet annually is what we produce as a company.
Now, where in the Bedford area, where is the sawmill located at? If people were to, I mean, I'm assuming they don't just come out to the sawmill and hang out. But
they don't come hang out, but they're welcome to come visit the office. I mean, you pull up to the office first, and we have a lot of people, that come out. If everybody's familiar with 460 coming out of town, you pass the state police, and then you pass, then there's a new automotive shop, and then West Side Market, Baldwin Street. You take a right down West Side Market, and we're the first 3 driveways on the right.
Okay.
And the sawmill's been there since '82, and there's still people to this day. I didn't know that sawmill was there. So we're putting up a sign. We have a really nice timber frame sign that we're putting at the corner that will be lighted. People will be able to start seeing our logo. We have a little tree logo. We're getting more and more name recognition. But yeah, landowners, people looking to purchase lumber, people that have contacts in the lumber industry, pallets. We sell, like I said, pallets, pellets, lumber, anything hardwood lumber.
Right.
With a little bit of, we sell some white pine because back in southwestern Virginia, we have a lot of white pine, so we have to produce that too.
Well, I know too, you guys have been in the Christmas parade, the Bedford Christmas parade, quite a few years.
Oh yeah, since I come up here. So, we purchased the mill in February of 2018. I don't think I was in the Christmas parade in 2018, but I've been in every other Christmas parade. I'm the largest, I guess you could call float or procession or whatever you want to say.
Yeah.
Because we have a tractor trailer with almost every wood product that we produce or a sample of, a front end loader, wheel loader, and we give out tons of candy. Having a kid myself, we always try to, do things and support the kids. Because that's why the kids go to the parades. They go for the candy.
I loved last year's because y'all had the log cabin.
Oh yeah.
That was super
really cool. And it's so funny to watch you guys come through downtown Bedford, and everyone's like, "Oh, are they going to make that turn? Are they going to be able to?"
Oh yeah, we usually have our radios on. So we have 2 or 3 people with radios in front, 2 or 3 people in back because safety is. I mean, coming from industry,
Yeah.
And I pay the insurance bill, so I understand safety.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
the last
but
thing I want to do
it's
is
just
anybody
so
getting
cool
hurt.
because
Yeah.
they get so impressed when you guys make that
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
that turn.
You
and-
guys
Yeah.
and the ladder truck, the fire
Oh,
truck. When
yeah.
the ladder truck comes around, everyone's like, "Oh my gosh, they're gonna hit people on the side of the
Yeah,
road."
yeah.
But we're like, no, they've done this before. They know they can make the turns because y'all have
Yeah.
actually gone through and done it. Like y'all do a dry run
We
to
do
make sure.
Yeah, we do one dry run before the Christmas parade. So
Yeah.
that's why we always
Make sure we don't run over anybody.
That's right. That's right. And we're working on the float. You know, we got a couple plans, you know, for
This year,
the trailer this year. So,
cool.
and,
Yeah, I really
we're gonna
liked
up
the
the
one last
candy.
year.
We're going to up the candy budget because we ran out last year.
budget.
Yeah. I don't want any disappointed kiddos.
No. That's the thing. Like they love, and we always say like we ask people not to throw candy from the floats
Oh,
because
yeah, that's right.
kids will run out, and we always
Yeah.
get nervous that they'll you won't see them and somebody will get run over by candy. But then the fun part is too, I understand, is the
Yeah.
kids grabbing the candy. So
Oh, yeah. Well,
um,
what I tell my guys is don't throw candy, but if you want to, put some down on the sidewalk,
Mhm.
but not in the street, because
Yeah.
I'm the same way. I don't want any kids out in the street.
Yeah. Well, we
And-
used to have them. They just throw them off the back, so it'd be
yeah.
in the middle of the road,
No,
and then
no,
they'd
we don't do
come.
that.
Yeah,
Come running.
That happened in Lynchburg quite a bit.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I won't name names, but
There you
Mm.
go.
but yeah, we've had that happen. So that's
Mhm.
crazy. Well, we're really happy to have you back again this year and
Oh, yeah.
as title sponsor
Oh, yeah.
of Centerfest, and we've got you right back on the corner, so everyone can come find you
Oh,
right there on Main Street and
that's a
Bridge
good
Street, the
spot.
corner right
That's
there.
right.
So they can get their snow cones and their balloons and
There you go. And
all
I
that
think,
good stuff.
I think we might be giving out waters too.
Oh, that's always
Because
good.
last couple of years it's been hot up there.
Yeah. Unfortunately, we won't be beside you this year, so frowny face.
Okay.
We're gonna move. We have to move our tent down near the stage in the beer truck area. 'Cause we're
Okay.
gonna be making sure we pass out all the
Mhm.
wristbands and keep anyone from trying to sneak out of the gated area this year. I got to stop them before they make me lose my ABC license.
Yeah.
Yeah, no
Mhm.
margaritas. So, well, thank you for coming on with
Yeah,
us today and talking to us a little bit more about everything you do. Because even just in the last 20 minutes listening to you, there's a lot of things I didn't know, and so
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
it's always I think that's one of the reasons I love having the show and having local business on, because I
Mhm.
think there's people out there that even if one or two people go, well, I didn't know that, and then it just kind of it spreads. So
Oh, yeah. Yeah, it does.
I really thank you for coming on with
Yeah,
me today.
absolutely. Thank you.
Thank you very much. And real quickly, I'm just going to remind everyone, Centerfest is this Saturday, downtown Bedford, 6 blocks, maybe more now that we've added streets. How many vendors do we have on them?
we got 150 vendors. Actually maybe a little more than 150 vendors. And then we have, 7 bands coming out to play all day long. So there'll be music, shopping. We have the kids zone back with jump and fun amusements.
Right. And we're going to have the big, huge slide this year with that.
Yep, we'll have a slide, the
obstacle
jump
course.
house, obstacle course, and then there's 3 blow up games that we'll have as well for kids, and it's all free. We're not charging your kiddos to go and have a good time.
And Balloon Dude Travis is coming out to make
Yes.
balloon animals. That'll also be free. You won't have to pay for your kid to go get the balloon animal made. And that way, Autumn was going to make. What were you going to make?
I was gonna make some really good like snakes, worms, but
He's better
I
than
guess
her.
kids want more than just snakes and worms. So.
Snakes and worms. So yeah, so we're we also have DJ Showtime will be up near the courthouse with Status Barbershop again this year. Lots of food, just lots of stuff. Oh, and like if you're looking, so this year, just so y'all know, we have a little bit. If you've been to Centerfest in the past, I want to tell you there's a little bit of a change in where the stage is. So most people are familiar with it being down near the farmers market, and this year the farmers market will actually be open. So we will have all the farmers market booths set up in the farmers market. So the stage is actually going to be located behind Union Bank in their back parking lot. And so we would, we're going to have that kind of set up with our beer truck, and we have a winery coming out there. So we do just remind everyone that when you come in that, all alcohols to stay in that premises. So we'll, like I said, we're moving our tent down there to be the enforcers this year.
Nice.
But we're super excited and looking forward to it. We're hoping for a great crowd. Weather is supposed to be beautiful. So make sure you're out there and, 10 to 6.
Yes, 10 to 6.
10 to 6. Come on out and join us this Saturday. Make sure to stop by Turman Forest Products' booth and grab you all the good things there. So
Nice.
thank you.
Welcome.
So we have just joining us. Hello. We have Randy Dunton is here with us today. And like I said, we're going to be talking about all different kinds of events. And he is with Legacy Education Center. And first of all, before we get into the event, Randy, tell us what Legacy Education Center is all about. I know you and I met a little over a week ago, and I was just blown away by everything you guys are doing for the kids in this community. And so I wanted to have you on to talk about it because I think it's definitely something people don't know that is even here in this area.
Well, listen, we first of all would like to say thank you for allowing us to join with you today. Appreciate all that you guys are doing and promoting, positive activities in the community, obviously workforce development and promoting our businesses. Legacy Education Center was started because, we believe there's just a very complex world for a lot of individuals that are trying to get to the workforce. And so we try to remove hurdles and barriers. And we believe that there's individuals that are trapped in some hurdles and barriers that can be removed. And when you remove them and you start interaction with the individual one-on-one, and you see the remarkable talent that they have, their abilities to add value to businesses, their ability to get economic empowerment, that's where our mission lies. And you do that through obviously three things that Legacy offers is accredited academics. If their route, in the workforce is going to require, additional higher level education, we offer that. We offer life skills training, which we think is very, very critical in today's market.
Extremely.
I think there's been a huge gap, in terms of the development of life skills. And then, we offer them obviously economic empowerment from the get-go. Hard to live if you don't have some resources coming your way. Hard to stay in school if you don't have the undergirding of some financial support. So we find that for them, and it's remarkable how much support can be out there and the success we're seeing our students have.
I'm gonna touch really quick on the second one you were talking about, which is like life skills and things. And I know, no offense to the public school system, but I just don't think they teach that like it used to be a long time ago. Back when I was in school, you had home ec you were there learning how to do things, and you had financial classes but most of the time now, and not that people write checks anymore very much, but they don't know how to balance checkbooks or do things like that, or even simple things like going, you'll go somewhere and pay somebody a little bit over, so the change, you're getting actual cash back instead of the coin change and everything. Like they don't know how to add up to that amount to make sure they're giving you. They just kind of look at you like, what? They gave me more money than I'm supposed to be getting. And so I think it's really important to have something in place that does do that.
Yeah, and the first thing we got to do is we got to own up to where we are. Like you're saying, I mean, it's a very frustrating point if you don't take ownership for where you're actually standing, as a culture or as a person in light of your ability and your talent. And, there's a serious life skill gap in our education system right now. So when you bring individuals back to see, first of all, they're the intelligent design of a loving creator, and they start to understand their giftings and their value, now they're in a much better position to realize, hey, I can actually go forth and add value to a business. I mean, I am worth $30, $40, $50, $100,000 a year as I develop my skill set.
Right.
And, we have students that were making little or nothing, 2 years ago that are working on a 2-year degree making up to $60,000 right now a year. And it's just a complete game changer for them. But the mindset had to shift, because the mindset has not been conditioned to even understand the clock, in terms of, hey, you can't play video games until 4 a.m. and think you're going to show up rip-roaring and ready to go at 8 a.m. and perform on a job. So these are the things that, we have the students confront, and most of them are absolutely what I would call aspirational people, and that's what we're looking for. Hey, if you're aspirational out there and you really believe something, but yet this complexity's in your way, and it could be, hey, transportation, childcare, just understanding how to navigate through the system.
Right.
It's not simple. Doing a FAFSA form is not simple.
No, it's not.
To get to your credits, and so all that is provided by Legacy. And we're like I said, we're seeing phenomenal results with the students that we're able to work with.
Well, and I think it's also important that these kids know that there's support system behind them, because sometimes they may not be getting the support at home, or they may not be getting the support at school, or maybe they're even getting bullied at school. So they don't even want to go to school. Like they want, it's knowing that they have support systems in place too that are helping them achieve the goals and not making them feel like they're just going to settle.
Well, and again, I think one of the secrets to Legacy's methods is it's an individualized program. So, your program may be different than Susan's program or, Joey's program, because your passions are different.
Right.
So once we come in and say, look, we're not trying to get one size fits all, but yet we do have to have a program that is flexible, and yet it will meet the needs. If you want to be a nurse, hey, we can get you to nursing. If you want to be a businessman, we can get you there. If you want to be an engineer, you can become an engineer. You want to be a welder, we can get you into the trades. We just hired a plumber recently that came through the program. And it's not just reduced to individuals that are unemployed right now, which could be a widespread number. But at 2:00 today, I'm meeting with somebody who's got a bachelor's degree from College of Charleston who's underemployed and very frustrated with where he's at, and yet wants to move forward. But in some of the cases, if you get into this space, and you're in there quite a bit, but you start dealing with HR, you realize they're frustrated too. So there's you got to have some advocacy. So when you talk about support for the student, I mean, we become their advocate. And we become, especially once you start to realize the strength of that student, and then I'm picking up the phone and I'm calling a Framatone, or I'm calling Sam Moore, we're calling, Waller Perro out at Smith Mountain, saying, hey, this person is a very talented individual. We've seen him day to day, and we highly recommend you give them the greatest consideration for your positions. I mean, and because they're looking for that.
Right.
They want to know that, hey, somebody has tested them a little bit and already can vouch for the person's life skills.
Yeah.
I mean, so we use the term, Heather and I shared it with you last week, employment maturity. And that's where we're going with, with the students. You have to show employment maturity, because you must add value in the marketplace. It's not about your skin color. It's not about your gender. It's not about where you went to school or grew up. It's about, hey, can I add value in the marketplace? And once I start focusing on that, I eliminate a gazillion pathways that are actually distractions. And I focus on, hey, how do I add more value in my career? And next thing you know, you're seeing your salaries, exponentially move forward.
And I know when we were talking last week, you were actually telling me quite a few instances, where you've done just that with different kids, and you've gotten them in at those Banker Steel or BWXT and things like that. And they're now making, quite a bit of money. And not only that, but their self-esteem has gone up, and they're saying, hey, I can support I can support myself and all these things, like getting new vehicles and, having the things that maybe they didn't have growing up.
Well, again, I think there's just gaps in our education right now in terms of how we're preparing people for employment maturity. I mean, we're too focused on appeasement. We're not focused enough on discipline. I mean, we could run down the gamut of things, and it's not to point fingers at anybody. There's a lot of good people that are caught up in a bad system, in some regards. But everybody has to be accountable for the outcomes. Where are we at as a community with this younger generation? What have we done to help the younger generation understand how they can gain economic empowerment and not sit around and have an entitlement mindset, but have a mindset where, okay, these leaders are empathetic to me, but they also want to see excellence. They want to see me develop enthusiasm, encouragement, and then they want to see me have endurance and the ability to finish a 25-year career. And once those things become the boundaries of your mindset and of your future, I mean, the sky's the limit. I mean, but again, we have to manage the clock and realize we're going to have to trade our time and our contribution at some point in time for income.
Mm-hmm.
And once we accept that, then we can really take off.
Now, how do you go about finding the students for that come into the Legacy Education Center? Do they find you? Do you have what ways or?
Well, we have,
if someone's interested.
Again, we reach out yesterday we were with, the group Iron Lives is doing some good work.
Yes.
We work with groups that are doing civic responsibility, social work. And then, we work inside the schools. We have a partnership with Campbell County Schools, have a partnership with Lynchburg Schools, Amherst Schools, Charlotte County Schools. So we're on the forefront of the seniors coming out there that really need assistance.
Mm-hmm.
And then, we do things with the municipalities and the economic development, like, the event we're going to have here on the 29th, really started with, Mary Zirkle and Tim Black and just, with your town governance, and expanded to where, hey, Patty Jerkis is on board as far as promoting it with the Chamber of Commerce, and Pam Bailey and Robert Hiss. I mean, these are great people that are trying to serve, businesses and economic growth of Bedford County.
Right.
And we're just here to help. I mean, if we help 5, it's going to be tremendous. If we help 25, I'm going to turn cartwheels all the way back to Forest, right?
Right.
I mean, because that's what we're here to do. We're just here to help individuals see their potential and reach, the employment maturity. So what happens then is then they can achieve economic, empowerment.
Okay.
And I think that's the number one cure for, any type of disadvantaged situation, economically, underserved people, poverty. You could put it all in. I mean, once you can achieve economic empowerment, everything changes in your world. And you can access to a lot of things that maybe right now you don't have access to. And we're 5 for 5 with Bedford County students. I mean, they got tremendous job. I mean, one's working at Hurt and Profit. We had 2 that went to Banker Steel as welders. They're doing, and they're achieving some great economics there, because that was their passion. One's working at Adzel right now, but he's actually in a management position and he's really excelling. And he's now, his confidence is growing and flourishing because he's seeing that other people believe in what he's contributing to the workforce. I mean, he will be a $100,000 employee, before his career's up.
So let's talk about the event that's coming up on September 29th. Y'all are hosting a college and career day, and that's going to be next Thursday from 5:30 to 8 at the Bedford Welcome Center. So tell us a little bit more about what that all entails. Who is that? That I know it's for like employers to come out, but is it for kids and their families? What is the reach on that?
We're actually, our college and career fair is actually geared toward the potential employee.
Mm-hmm.
So if you are unemployed or you're looking for work or you're frustrated and you want to get more skill development or more training, or you have a passion about a career that you're not in right now, this is for you. And if you, like I said, if you feel like you're underemployed. So we will, again, look forward to everybody that attends. We'll get a chance to meet them, build a relationship. And then, if they choose to move forward, like Legacy does with all of our students, then our relationship becomes about the students' economic empowerment. How do we get them to where they're capable of having the most earning power, in their career? And what are they passionate about? And again, we all had passions when we were young. I wanted to be a coach. So, that's what happened. I took the route to get my education and pursued coaching and became, was fortunate enough to become a Division I head coach, even though I grew up in a small little town in Maine. And we still believe that. I think one of the things that we're missing in our communities is how much talent can be trapped in hurdles and barriers.
Mm-hmm.
Can't say it loud enough. Mm-hmm. There's talent trapped in hurdles and barriers. And so once you remove the hurdles and barriers, and again, from an overall community standpoint, you want to do that before there's a pregnancy or before there's a felon or somebody makes a bad decision because they get frustrated inside of it, or and we teach a lot about emotional intelligence too. before I'm reactionary and cause something instead of learning how to respond, and so these are talented individuals. And they, again, like I said, my viewpoint is, they are intelligent designs of a loving creator, and they are wired for something special. They just have to find it. And then sometimes they need mentors that just encourage them to look in those directions and not believe the narrative of, I can't do it because of the color of my skin. I can't do it because of where I live. I can't do it because of, a host of reasons that they come. And what happens when people get trapped in hurdles and barriers, they start believing false narratives. They're absolutely false. There's never been a better time in the history of America to achieve economic empowerment than today. As we sit here today. I mean, my wife had a conversation last night because we were talking about legacy growing to 300 students. And she goes, is there 300 jobs available? I said, 300 jobs? There's 3,000 jobs.
Yeah.
There's jobs everywhere, right? There's hiring everywhere.
Yes.
And so now the employer, let's go back to them. They may have to shift things a little bit on how they typically have thought, hey, I do it like this, I do it like that. Like, employers could hire our students knowing that they're going to probably be with them for 2 years, while they're getting their education. And, and we would be mentoring them. So it becomes a little triangular effect. It's not you by yourself trying to see if this employee has maturity or not. And, if Heather misses work on a day, I would expect a phone call saying, hey, we're just wondering what's up with Heather. And next thing you know, maybe Heather's grandmother passed. Maybe there's something going on in her life. And we don't all need to react and say, well, she's fired and she's this. I mean, and maybe she needs to grow her her employment maturity in the way that she's communicating. And the next thing you know, as we grow through this, because this is where they're at. I mean, if we don't want to accept where they're at, we're in trouble. That's what we say all the time in coaching, and we have to accept where we're at and grow from there. And this is where our communities are at with the workforce. But we can change the workforce, Heather. We can reemphasize life skills that are very powerful. And I believe within 3 years we can change the workforce.
So I was looking at the flyer that I have here, and we'll post this flyer on our Talk Local to Me Facebook page after today's show, so that anyone who has listened in and is interested in the information will have it up there for you. Or even if for some reason that you're not listening live, but you've put the podcast on and you're listening to it, and it may be after next week and this has already happened, you'll still have Mr. Dunton's information. So you can always still call him, and say, or send an email and say, hey, I missed the career and, college and career day, but I'm really interested in what you guys are doing. So we'll have that up for you. But I was looking on here. So y'all are going to do career assessment, application assistance. So I assume like if they are applying for a job, and it kind of show them how to best show themselves on paper. And I think that's, you and I were talking about an interview one of your kids had that was a phone interview. And sometimes you don't interview, you don't come across on paper how you may if you just are actually sitting across from a person, or, if you're on the phone versus face to face. So, I think having someone help you through that is important. And then job placement, college education, and wraparound services. So do you want to tell a little bit about
there's
those?
Skills. I mean, again, this is not complex, but again, you have to reduce it because for the actual student, it can be very complex. I could name them, but we're not here to be critical. But I mean, there's some employment services that you could throw your resume in. You might as well throw it in the Atlantic Ocean. I mean, it just gets very, and yet, you'll hear people say to you, apply on this or apply on that, or the job's listed here, or the job's listed there. And it really, it gets real frustrating. So what happens with our younger generation right now is they quit. They just quit pursuing it. And then, unfortunately, a lot of them will move into what I call informal employment, and that could be legal, it could be illegal, it could be something that's really beneath where they're capable of being in the end of the day. No work is beneath us at all in terms of doing, but I'm talking about, as we all try to aspire. So let's talk about skill sets. First of all, there is a skill set in just knowing how to apply for a job. Then there's a skill set in how to interview for the job. And then there's a skill set in how to do the job.
Right.
So again, we keep it simple. Okay. Here's the simplicity of it. First of all, you should have professional communication. And then you should have professional appearance. based upon the job you're applying for. I mean, if you're going to be a welder, it's all right to go dressed like a welder for your interview. I mean, that's fine. But if you want to be a nurse, you don't dress like a welder to be a nurse.
Mhm.
You know, and
You also
so-
don't wear pajamas.
Yes.
I get a lot of people. I've done job fairs in the past, and I've been amazed at the people that have come in like pajama pants
Yeah.
and stuff to pick up information. And I'm like, these people are, some of them are actively hiring, and that's what you chose to come in.
Yeah.
looking like?
Well, and again, because I don't think there's been an emphasis
Yeah.
inside of life skills of, so we say professional communication, professional appearance, and then professional performance. You know, again, you are required. If my job is 8 to 5 with a 45-minute lunch, I mean, then I should be geared up every day before 8 to get there to understand, hey, at 8, I'm starting my work and I'm giving my employer a great day's work, you know, all the way to 5 o'clock.
Mhm.
And, you know, once I accept that, you know, again, we're big John Maxwell fans when we coaching days is, hey, we first form habits and habits form us.
Mm-hmm.
So hard work is but a habit. You know, it's a mindset, and that will take you a long ways in life. So, you know, having somebody look them in the eyes that they know cares about them before it's over, and really saying, "Listen, it starts with hard work. You got to work hard inside of your occupation, and you should be the first person there and the last person to leave. You know, if you really want to advance in your career, and your boss is having a bad day, who you're trying to make successful." I mean, there's nothing wrong with staying a half hour late to solve a problem.
Mhm.
Mm-hmm.
You know, oh my. I mean, but we know people all the time right now that so they're running out the door 10 minutes early and think that that's acceptable. And this has got to change inside of our culture, inside of our community. But when you're seeing kids, and unfortunately, too many cases now, our school system sees kids as commodities. Education sees kids as commodities. So if you're a commodity to me, then I appease you.
Mm-hmm.
If you're a creation, then I discipline you, and I give you the right format. So while it doesn't always make us popular to say that, that's what's going on. I mean, there's a reason why work ethic is not what it was in the 60s, you know, or the 70s. And so we have to examine it, and it doesn't do us any good to just chop off leaves. We got to get to the root of the problem. So when I got involved in looking at how does Lynchburg have the highest poverty rate in the state of Virginia, then I started going to the meetings. And I started looking around and said, how are we going to solve this? And then it was like, well, the only way you're going to solve it is you're going to change income levels. I mean, we can talk about all the other things we're doing to service, but income levels is what solves poverty. And so then we must develop people to do that. And then you start looking at some of the problems as to why we're not, or what's the gaps that are missing. And, you know, we just try to address those. So we're excited to be here in Bedford. We got a lot of friends in Bedford from our times coaching here. And, you know, we highly encourage, you know, anybody that's looking, you know, that wants to move themselves forward with careers, you know, to come out and just listen to it and make friends. I mean, our staff will be here. Dr. Hezekiah Foster, first integrated principal in Appomattox County, taught at Longwood. Dr. Mavinga taught 25 years of math at Liberty University. I mean, they're in the building every day to help the students. So you're not walking this path by yourself. You're supported.
Now, let me ask real quick. We've talked about the kids and them coming in. What about if we have a business that's listening today that's like, you know, I want to kind of get connected with this program because we have the opportunity to have some of these kids come in and work. I'm sure you are looking for those types of partners as well.
Oh yeah, and this is a perfect event to do it in. I mean, like we've had a number of you know, offices call us from businesses with their human resource department. And, you know, my encouragement is, hey, you can bring some applications. I don't think on this one initially are we setting up tables, okay? And this is where we're going to partner with your organization and other organizations down the road where, you know, we can hold a fair, you know, as we develop more employees. I think right now there could be some connection that goes on that night.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, if you walk in and there's an aspirational person there and they want to go to work right now and there's a business in there and it works out, that's great. I mean, that happened. That's what we're trying to do. So our success is when the person gets an opportunity employment wise that they move forward with and they sustain themselves. And, you know, we had a student yesterday that was doing some work for me at the house. great young man, came from a disadvantaged situation, underserved, and he wants to be an engineer.
Mm-hmm.
So he's had to put his academics on hold just a little bit while he was, earning some income, and he's doing a great job now. He's got a job where he's making between 40 and 50,000 a year. And but yesterday the conversation is, how do I now get back in classes so I can finish my engineering degree? I said, well, we got a strategy. We got to plan this out and make sure that economically you can do this, this, and this. So this person, I think, in the end of the day, will be an engineer, which will be a remarkable story.
Right.
But it takes planning. It takes teamwork.
Yeah.
I mean, he doesn't have the ability to just stop work and say, I'm going to go to school only. I mean, he's got to earn some money and do that. So there's a lot. Those would be some of the hurdles that we help individuals with.
Right.
So if you're out there today and, you feel like, hey, I got some hurdles, but I know that I can really add value, come out and meet us, and, we'll do everything in our power to move you forward to the career that you're passionate about.
So the event is next Thursday, September 29th from 5:30 to 8 at the Bedford Welcome Center, which is right on 816 Burks Hill Road here in Bedford. And so before we go, tell us, though, where is Legacy? Where is the Education Center located?
Okay. Legacy's headquarters is at 1222 Rivermont. We have plans to continue to move the facility, and we've also, looked at satellite office opportunities too. One being here in Bedford, but right now we are on Rivermont, and students actually go to class from 8:30 to noon Monday through Thursday. So it's very doable. Everybody's got to have a job as we move through the process, so they can either work, those times, work the weekends. But you take 2 classes every 8 weeks, two classes that are obviously carry the certification of SACS accreditation, and they're transferable. I mean, you can go to Legacy and get your associate's degree and go to University of Virginia and be halfway through your degree, debt-free. So the thing about Legacy is we charge the students nothing to come, and we support them. And as you and I were talking about last week, every student that qualifies for a full Pell Grant has $60,000 in grant money, and they really don't even realize it a lot of times. So they can buy their education.
Mm-hmm.
You can't maybe go on campus and spend $50,000 a year, to be an on-campus student, but you can be, somebody that's participating in the distance learning programs like we have, that's also getting the added support from 3 PhDs and 5 master's degrees every day.
Mm-hmm.
And next thing you know, you've got your bachelor's degree in sight. So this is our goal, and we believe that there's a lot of talented people that are going to take advantage of it, and we're going to see our workforce increase, which will allow individuals like yourself to attract more businesses to Bedford. But first of all, we want to make sure we're stabilizing the ones that are here,
Right.
the right workforce.
Yes. Well, thank you so much for coming on with me today. I appreciate it. And I'm looking forward to coming next Thursday and being a part of the College and Career Day. So you'll find out more information on our Talk Local to Me page. Like I said, we're going to put this up. Or if they have questions, Randy, how can they get a hold of you ahead of time?
Well, they can get a hold of me with my cell phone, obviously 434-841-9999. Or they can contact me by email. We have a website, legacy-edu.org, legacy-edu.org, and they can find our contact information on there as well.
Wonderful.
So we'll look forward to the individuals that come next week. And this is just the beginning. I mean, hey, don't despise small beginnings, right? I mean,
That's right.
No matter who shows up next week. We had an open house in Alta Vista. We had 10 individuals from the community come in. We helped all 10.
Awesome.
At the Y. So we're looking forward to what happens here in Bedford next week.
Perfect. Well, thank you so much. And thank you, everyone, for listening in to Talk Local to Me again this week. And until next week, make sure you are supporting your local business. And go to grovestreet.fm and like and subscribe to Talk Local to Me.